And let me just go ahead and make this official. Okay, so we're calling to order. Good afternoon. This meeting of the Napa Valley College Board of Trustees is now called to order at, let's see, it is 4:39 p.m. We welcome members of the public. Instructions on making public comment are posted in item number 1 on the agenda. And we will ask at each item if there is public comment. And all presenters should remain muted with their video off until it's time to make your presentation. So, Catherine, could you please do roll call?
Yes. I'm just bringing in Trustee Dodd.
Perfect.
Okay, roll call, sorry. Trustee Goff. Is she not here?
She's waving. She can't talk, but she's waving. She's here.
I wonder why.
There we go.
There she goes. Yay.
Unmute. Okay, you wouldn't have let me unmute, but I'm here.
And now you can unmute yourself?
Now I can unmute. Thank you.
Okay, great. Trustee Goff. Trustee Iverson
Is not present, and I don't believe he'll be joining us.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Baldini. No, Trustee Baldini.
He was.
He's there.
Is he also waving? He's waving. I see him. He's waving.
Okay, I'm going to have to see if I can fix the mute situation.
A really short meeting if we keep everybody muted.
I'm so sorry, everybody. Trustee DeLuna.
Present.
And Trustee Rios.
Here.
Student Trustee Shaw. Is he there?
He's muted.
He was. I thought I saw him earlier.
Yeah, I thought I did too.
Is he also?
Here he
He's
is.
not waving though, so I don't know.
He's muted.
Yes, I'm here. Finally.
Yes, there he is.
There we go. Okay. So now I think I figured that out. And Trustee Dodd, you're here. Let me see. You know, I clicked on the button allowing you all to unmute yourself, so I'm going to have to go back and look again. Did we lose Trustee Dodd?
I see his name.
After you've unmuted everybody, they have to unmute themselves then if they want to.
Allow panelists to unmute themselves. That is supposed to work. Well, we see him there. If we can get beyond this, then I'll go in. That should work. And Trustee Baker.
I am here.
Good. Okay. I'll go in and click everybody and see if we can get you all in. Okay. So the only person not present was Trustee Iverson, and we might not expect him. I was notified that he might be late. Okay.
Correct. All right. So, I'm going to do our Pledge of Allegiance. Catherine, can you open up our flag? And then let's see, how about Trustee Baldini? Can you please lead us? If you can you unmute yourself to lead us? All right. You don't know sign language. Let's do Jeff. Jeff, can you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, then. Okay, so moving on to 2.3, adoption of the agenda. Are there any changes proposed? Hearing none, I am going to adopt via consensus. So now we can move on to public comment on closed session items. So at this time, the board will devote a total of up to 15 minutes to hear comments regarding closed session agenda items. Individual comments will be limited to 3 minutes.
Yes, hi, sorry.
Do we have any public comment, Catherine?
Hold on just a sec. We do not have public comment.
Alrighty then. So at this time, we're going to be moving into closed session, and we should be returning at approximately 5:30 p.m. We have 3 items for closed session. We have public employee discipline, dismissal, and release, conference with real property negotiators, and conference with labor negotiators. So we will see you all back on this link at approximately 5:30.
We are.
Alrighty
Yes,
then.
we're all here.
Coming back into public session, resuming at 5:37 p.m. And we have no announcements from closed session. So we can move on to item 6, which is public comment for general items. This public comment opportunity is governed by the State of California Brown Act. By definition, this is an opportunity to hear concerns, perspectives, and differing vantage points. The board is not able under the Brown Act to engage in any level of conversation or discussion, but we look forward to this opportunity to gather community input. At this time, the Board of Trustees will devote up to 15 minutes to review comment to the Board of Trustees regarding any subject not appearing as an agenda item for this meeting, but over which the board has jurisdiction. The public may request that the board place an item related to the business of the district on a future board agenda. No action or decisions will occur at this time on such items. Each comment shall last no longer than 3 minutes. Do we have anyone here for public comment, Catherine?
I do not see any hand raised, and I have not received any email.
Alrighty then, so if is hearing no comments from the public, we can close public comment and move on to item 7, which is our reports. And first one we have up is Academic Senate report from Dr. Tejada. Is she with us?
Yes, I am here, and I need to share screen. Is that okay, Catherine?
Actually, we are not set up to allow for sharing of screen as part of my Zoom bombing.
I have, okay, so I actually have the green button, and I actually really do need to show some
Oh, as a panelist, you might be able to, but can you try?
It says that you disabled the participant screen sharing.
Let me
Can you
see.
enable it again, please?
Okay, there you go.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, that. All right, let me prepare the. Okay. All right, now I can. All right. Here we are. Can everybody see that?
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
Thank you so much. I'm just going to say that usually I try to give as brief a report as possible to be respectful of the time of this meeting. But tonight I may go over my, it's going to be a little bit longer. But I do feel that it's necessary to clarify some things. So good evening, trustees, President Kraft, and the Napa Valley College community. Tonight, I wish to acknowledge that we are on the unceded land of the Michoel, the Mutsitu, the Mayakma, and the Patwin. I am giving my report from the unceded land of the Ohlone. As I give my report tonight, I wish to invoke their courage and integrity as the daughter of the Taino African Alliance in resistance to colonization and white supremacy that birthed me. This week, we reached the 1-year milestone of sheltering in place due to the COVID pandemic. As we reach this milestone, I wish to emphasize that my reports in the academic year of 2021 are set against the canvas of COVID. Tonight, I will highlight some of the work of the Academic Senate, give some updates on the status of policies as requested by Trustee Baker last month, and I will close with some observations and concerns. The Napa Valley College Academic Senate continues to do the work that ensures academic freedom, yielding academic excellence in our teaching, and in our service to students. Faculty continue to meet our contractual obligations by accomplishing the work, tasks that good teaching demands to meet the needs of our students, and by accomplishing our responsibility to effective shared governance and the Senate committee work. And I'm gonna, in order to meet faculty professional development needs, the Instructional Design Institute is in its phase 3. The implementation of phase 3 has begun. We're in our 4th cycle of the Distance Education Pedagogy Workshop, which allows faculty to learn the online design outlined in the DE rubric, which will be used in our peer observation course review, or known as the POCR process, which aligns with accreditation standards. We also are continuing to offer the culturally responsive pedagogy workshop, and that we'll be actually rolling that out in a couple of weeks, after spring break. The hires for the researcher team to conduct the assessment of the impact of both the Distance Ed Pedagogy Workshop and the Culturally Responsive Pedagogy Workshop on our classrooms and our students will be completed next week. And that work will end in June. The IEPI grant request was submitted on March 5th, bringing $250,000 to the college for faculty development in the fall to continue the work of the IDI, restructure professional development for faculty, and begin an Academic Senate Leadership Institute to prepare our new faculty for leadership positions in the Academic Senate. I just want to kind of reiterate that in 1 year, the Academic Senate, under my leadership, has acquired $77,000 to meet the professional development needs of faculty while dealing with the stressors and effect of COVID. I wish to thank Dean Robin Darkangelo for her work and her support in ensuring that we meet the needs of faculty professional development. We really appreciate her support. And I also wish to thank Dr. Kraft, who has also supported the work of the IDI. To date, 117 faculty, full-time and adjunct, have been trained in effective distance education pedagogy and culturally responsive pedagogy. And just so, in addition, the State Academic Senate has requested that I co-present a workshop sharing my dissertation work, which is part of the framework that we use in our culturally responsive pedagogy workshop. We continue to be leaders in the state in this area. Let's see. I wish to call attention to the fact that the Academic Senate leadership has worked in good faith to find resources to address the pedagogical needs of faculty to better serve the needs of our students. If faculty have the resources that they need, our students we are better able to meet the needs of our students. I know that in past reports, I told you about the work of the Policy Revision Task Force. I don't believe I did justice in my reporting to communicate the scope of the work, nor did I share the process we used, believing that the board had knowledge of this process. I wish to clarify this tonight. As evidence to illustrate the work of the Academic Senate Policy Review Task Force, and to dispel any narratives about the role that faculty have in reviewing policy, or that we are not reviewing policy, I wish to show you the work that we have engaged in. And I'd like to acknowledge and thank Dr. Sarah Parker for creating the tracker. And I'm just going to kind of rotate. Oops. Let me go back. and end this, and then bring up the tracker. I want you to see the scope of what faculty have done. Okay, so let's try this again. Okay, and bring up the tracker. So this is the tracker. It allows for it gives you the policy, if it's a mutual agreement or rely primarily, and then where this policy is in our policy review process. So where is it in the pipeline? And I just want to call your attention that the task force used the work of the academic senate committees. Most of these had been in committee, and for quite a while, actually. And we made sure to use the work, to honor the work that our colleagues had done in our revision process. We did research, we consulted with colleagues, and then we also looked at different documents and really did a deep dive in our revision to make sure that we were accurate and that we had a good document to move forward. We went ahead and the Senate initially approves these policies, and I'd like you to see the dates. Originally, we agreed we were contracted to do 10 policies. We did 15, and then the PDC added the sabbatical one, and so that is a total of 16 policies this year during COVID. And I want to thank Dr. Kraft again for his support, because he made sure that we had the resources to do this. I also want to show that the Senate has done its due diligence and its part. From it went, we initially approved it so that I could speak to it at Council of Presidents, and it went through transmittal. Now, where these policies are now are with the Office of the President, as we continue to work toward refining and looking at what are some of the issues that arose as a part of the revision process, which is all part of the process. But again, I want to just reiterate that the Senate has done its due diligence and has done its task in terms of policy revision. All right, now I need to, hold on, I have to prep the screen again. Okay. Okay, thank you. Let's see. All right, so I'll come back. I'm going to come back to policy revision after I deal with the next issue, and then let's go here. So we'll come back to the policy tracker in a minute. All right. In our November meeting with Dr. Kraft, the union president and I requested at that meeting that faculty on accreditation teams be given reassigned time to manage the workload that it takes for preparing for an accreditation a comp visit. I know the amount of work that the accreditation process takes. However, Dr. Kraft sent me an email stating that he and Dr. Warnall did not believe that faculty would need reassigned time, since they would be only writing a maximum of 11 pages. I was disheartened by this decision, because I know the amount of work it takes to get to those 11 pages, if indeed that is the case. And knowing that how Napa Valley College faculty are working at capacity during this unprecedented time, I worried that the work might become untenable and that would compromise faculty voice in the ISER. Still, operating in good faith, I met with the Academic Senate Executive Committee and shared that we as leaders take the co-leads or the faculty place on these writing teams and use the flexibility of some of our reassigned time to engage in the accreditation process. I believed it was the ethical thing to do since I am committed to faculty participation in one of the most important processes that we engage in, which is our accreditation. Dr. Jim McGowan has forwarded me 4 letters of resignation from faculty stating that the workload is untenable with our teaching loads and committee work. I wish to emphasize that the faculty are the only constituent group not getting paid for their work on the writing teams. The faculty that have resigned expressed deep concerns about how the time on the writing teams was taking away from their students and their teaching. So far, participating in the work of the accreditation writing teams adds up to 20 hours, including trainings, evidence gathering, meetings, and writing. And that's just up to now. There are still many more meetings, much more research, and writing to be done. If we do not solve this inequity, the faculty voice in the ISER will be compromised. I hope that we can come to some agreement that will encourage faculty to remain and return to the writing teams. The last item in my report has to do with the status. Let me see, that one's out of. Okay. Has to do with the status of BP 4110, the honorary degree policy. At the last board meeting, Trustee Baker asked about its status and stated that if the Senate did not revise it soon, the Board of Trustees would approve the language of the CCLC template. I wish to reiterate that the Academic Senate leadership has acted in good faith vis-a-vis policy and all the duties that we carry out as a Senate. Let's see. What I observed was that Trustee Baker's request and comment did not align with the reality of the Academic Senate's work on policy revision. And again, I showed you the tracker, and I want you to see that in the policy tracker, see if I can get it, no, I can't pull it up while I'm sharing. In the policy tracker, BP 4110 does not appear. It was not included in the list because back in June 3rd, I sent an email to Catherine Kittle asking for the Office of the President if there was any board policies that the Office of the President wanted prioritized and included in the work of the task force. The Office of the President did forward the policies. BP 4110 honorary degree was not on that list. Had it been on that list, we would have revised it last summer, but it was not on the list. Let's see. I'm going to show now. So the BP 4110 honorary degree policy falls on, this is this policy falls within the realm of the Academic Senate Curriculum Committee. In the process of collegial consultation, which is the legal process as described in Ed Code and Title V, under mutual agreement, which is the process used in collegial consultation, this policy falls under 10+1, and it is under the category specifically of rely primarily. Respectfully, should the board wish to act to approve this policy without the recommendation of the Senate, it would be out of compliance with Standard 4A.1 through 6 and Standard 4C12, Title 5, Section 53200D, and Title 5, 53203. Now, I want to share how the issue with this particular board policy actually allows us to see what happens when the Senate does not have the necessary resources that it needs to do its work. I wish to share that in the unit plan that the Academic Senate approved last year, and which I forwarded to the Office of Academic Affairs, there was a request to increase the reassigned time for the curriculum committee, precisely because of the increase in workload for that committee during this period of time of COVID. The request was never acknowledged. And I want to just say that this was before Dr. Sarah Parker was hired. I wish to share with the board members the work completed by the Academic Senate Curriculum Committee and the work that it still needs to do so that you can get an idea of the scope of the work that has been done and work that we still need to do in the Curriculum Committee. So the Curriculum Committee has been working consistently all year. In fall 2020, the committee responded to the mandate from the Chancellor's Office to approve all courses for online delivery, either permanently or in emergency only. The Curriculum Committee created a distance ed form for faculty to use to request permanent and/or emergency DE approval for their courses. This included all courses already approved, as the distance ed section in the course outline of records in Curricunet were out of compliance. The Curriculum Committee approved approximately 500 courses across 2 meetings. Okay. In addition, they reviewed courses and programs using their regular review process, which yielded 12 new courses, modified 46, as well as 13 for submission to the new CSU Ethnic Studies graduation requirement, and archived 48. They approved 7 new programs. Oops, let me go ahead, I'll just keep going here. And let's see, 7 new programs. They're continuing to archive pending program discontinuance, and they're also working on cleaning up their processes and making the bylaws align more effectively with the actual practices of the committee. In addition to that work, they're also engaging in this work. And in this work. And in this work.
So the faculty is doing the honorary degrees. That was on there. I thought you said you guys weren't doing that work.
It's in the queue, trustee.
So you're not doing the work right now. Sorry.
It is in the queue because we have so much other work that we need to do to fulfill mandates, state mandates.
Okay. Sorry, I just thought you said you were doing that.
Okay. So I want to conclude my report with an observation that has troubled me since the board meeting on December 17th. And I want you to understand that I'm speaking from the heart, and that my intention is to share and communicate a concern. And actually to inform maybe the perception and dispel some of the misperceptions about our faculty at Napa Valley College. At the December 17th Board of Trustees meeting, when I concluded my report, the acting chair of the board made a comment and called me doctor to hater. I was stunned that instead of apologizing for mispronouncing my name, the acting chair giggled at the gaffe as though he was pleased with himself. I should mention that other than a quick salutation, I have never had any real interaction with that trustee. So I wondered what the root of the disrespect was about. Then I went into denial. Maybe I had heard it wrong. Except that a colleague who was present at that meeting sent me a text noting that it was not just a mispronouncing of my name. What was more hurtful to me was the silence. No one acknowledged the gaffe, nor was he encouraged to make a correction in the moment. In fact, he was nominated to be the chair of the Board of Trustees. I am the first faculty of African, Indigenous, Puerto Rican descent hired to teach in the English department. In my 27 years at Napa Valley College, I have endured the effects of implicit bias from some of my colleagues and students. My accomplishments are often minimized and my expertise questioned at every turn. The narratives I hear about me range from rude to downright racist and malicious. Still, I serve my students and I commit to my vocation at Napa Valley College. I wasn't going to say anything about the microaggression since they are so commonplace in the Napa Valley College culture. However, when Trustee Baker last week signaled out the Academic Senate for not revising BP 4110 fast enough, intimating that faculty are somehow not doing their job, as though I, as Academic Senate President, am not doing my job, I felt I needed to correct the perception and dismantle the narrative. From the behaviors and the decisions that this board and its agents have made during this time of COVID, I sense a kind of contempt, disrespect, and misinformed view toward faculty. Taken as one incident, I could be persuaded to believe that the mispronouncing of my name was an isolated event by a mistaken, flawed individual. However, when I begin to look at the pattern of denial of resources for faculty to serve our students and to engage effectively in academic and professional matters, what emerges is a pattern of disrespect and a culture of inequity toward faculty. The Napa Valley College faculty have demonstrated during this year our commitment to our students and to Napa Valley College. In spite of the fact that we are one of the lowest paid faculty in the state, we have demonstrated our commitment to students and to the Napa Valley College community. And so, respectfully, my name is Dr. Tejada. I am proud to represent the Napa Valley College Academic Senate, and I remain committed to work collaboratively with the leadership of the college. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Tejada. And before we move on to our next report, just want to apologize for the misperception that we were trying to hurry the Academic Senate along on something that we felt was tardy. It was implied to me that it was something that had been sitting in your court for a while, but it looks like there was some sort of an oversight, and obviously you have plenty to do and lots of work that you're doing that we do really, really very much appreciate, and we will get there when we get there. And if there's anything we can do to help with that, please let us know. And we're glad that it is now in your queue, and we will get it done. So, and we will now move on to Administrative Confidential Senate Report from Dean Harris, please, if he is present.
Indeed I am. Thank you, Chair Baker. Good evening, everybody, and good evening, Board. Members of the Administrative and Confidential Senate continue to work closely with our faculty and classified colleagues as we continue to traverse the path that is accreditation and all the documentation and processes that are entailed therein. The Academic Administrative Senate, will be holding our elections for our officers in the coming months, as the current executive committee teams is terms coming to an end. So there may be some new faces come June or July. Similarly, we'll be holding and soliciting nominations for Administrative Confidential Employee of the Year coming up soon. So that will be information to be coming out, and we'd like to highlight an employee or two that have been exemplary during this COVID time and have continued to do the work of the college to support our students. On a lighter note, for those who may be receiving their second dose of the vaccine at the Upper Valley campus on Monday or Tuesday, March 22nd or 23rd, Bob Vandervelde and I would like to invite you who may be there to come and receive, when you receive your shot, also receive a beer. So come down for a shot and a root beer. A root beer. I want to make that perfectly clear. A root beer. Okay. We'll be making plans to host a tailgate, if you will, once you've received your injection and waited the requisite 15 minutes. Search us out in the courtyard or the parking lot, and we'll be having a tailgate, either he or I, depending on the day that we're there, and join us for a root beer if you happen to be in the parking lot after the injection. So we're still working on that, but information to come out. We have about 10 days to get that completed. So that concludes our report, and thank you very much for the time.
Thank you very much. So 7.3, Associated Students of Napa Valley College report. Is Ms. Jimenez with us this evening?
I don't see her present.
All right. Unless Student Trustee Scholl has anything to report on her behalf.
No, she did not. I was told she would be here, so I do not have anything she sent me.
All right, we'll move on, and if she shows up, we'll circle back. So next we have 7.4, Classified Association Report. Valerie Mull, I believe, is present. Or is she not?
I can see that she's here, but she does not have a microphone, so her audio is not working. We do have her report, and it is posted for you.
Okay.
To open. Okay. And I do believe I saw Marty Shoemaker is here.
So Classified Senate Report. Mr. Shoemaker, are you available?
Can you hear me?
We can.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I just from my report is going to be short. I think we have the classified retreat the 30th this month, and I just would like to remind the supervisors. Make sure that the time's available so that our personnel can go ahead and participate in this retreat. Charo and Christina have done a fabulous job with my team, and I'm kind of excited about it. And and like Bob was saying earlier, with thanking our team Classy, we want to do video. So when we do the presentation on the 30th, when you have these team members of mine and have some kind words to say, that we could maybe shoot up some videos and kind of blend them in with the day. And I think that would help raise up the spirits in these COVIDian times. So if you can reach back, send me an email, and maybe we can work with something so we can go ahead and make this transpire. And I think that's it. And I miss you guys. It'd be nice to be in a meeting together. Okay? Can I say it out loud?
Oh, we miss you guys too.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have 7.6 Faculty Association report. Ms. Christine Wamoto, are you here?
I am here.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening, board. Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to give a quick shout out and a thank you to the faculty who are present tonight. I know you can't see them because of the way that the setup is done, but they are here. We have 47 participants, and I think there are only 24 panelists. So there are quite a few faculty here who are listening to us tonight. I wanted to give you an update on where negotiations are. Well, we are making progress, and we made significant progress with several MOUs today. The salary proposal is still not going as quickly as we would like it to be. Our contract expired on June 30th, as you know, June 30th, 2020. So faculty have been working on an expired contract for 8 months now and counting. The district, if you recall, the history gave us a salary proposal in March that was then pulled back sometime around April and May. We most recently gave the district salary a proposal in November, which now in March, they have not yet officially responded to. And the reason I bring this up is my concern is that, as long as we don't have a salary proposal that we can agree upon, we don't have a contract. I think the original goal was for us to have a contract put together and ready to sign and put into effect by the end of the academic year. And the closer we get to that, I am starting to see, I do not think that is a possibility anymore. And I don't mean to be a pessimist about it. I try to be an optimist in most things. But when you count back, in order for there to be a contract, the Board of Trustees would have to approve it in May, which means that the faculty would have to vote on it like the last week in April, first week in May. We would have to have a vote that went a certain amount of time, which would mean we would have to have something to give to them by our April meeting, which is in a month from today. And yet we have no proposal to bring back because we haven't even seen a counter proposal from a proposal that we submitted in November. So that's one of the things that I worry about. That'll be a full year by the end of May that we do not have a contract. The other thing about the salary is that if you recall, we at last check were 67th out of 72 districts as far as our average rate of pay. The district and the faculty agreed, and I just want to read from Article 26 of the contract. It says the parties agreed to reopen negotiations for Article 8, which is the salary article for 2018-2019, the objective of the parties shall be to bring the full-time and part-time faculty salaries into the 66th percentile of the state of California. And the priority in the 2019-2020 reopeners was for Article 8, the salary clause. The objective of the parties shall be to bring the full-time and part-time salaries into the 66th percentile of the state of California. That was always the shared goal. And I'm getting the feeling from the district, and this may just be my feeling, I don't know, I get the feeling that that goal is not so much their priority anymore, because of all the numbers that they've brought us thus far. It doesn't reflect that that is their goal at this time. And yet that is the only contract we have, expired as it may be. And that's the only thing that we agreed upon was the priority within that contract. And so I really think that we need to make sure that we are still keeping that as the priority, because my guess is we haven't risen, we have fallen. And the longer we let this sit without any movement, the harder it is going to be to get to that goal. I just wanted to remind the district of that. So that is my report. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So moving on to 7.7, President and Cabinet reports. Dr. Kraft, do you want to take over?
Thank you. A couple comments. The correct pronunciation maybe for this year is an extraordinary year. Often we look at we say extraordinary and we, kind of understate really on this anniversary of the pandemic. I think I've been reflecting on the leadership, and it has been an extraordinary year. And I want to thank all of our constituencies. I mean, we really are into the faculty you've heard a bit from tonight, and administrators and the classified professionals, the students, and the board itself. I mean, we're all working and focused on just one single outcome, and that is student success. And as long as we are mission driven and we are serving our community, I think we're on the right track. So there are lots of cogs in the wheel, that are a bit clunky, and I hear you, and I think the board is listening as well, from all vantage points. It's important for us to move forward, and I think that we are. I'm seeing a little bit of light at the tunnel as president and leader, and as we start to emerge and have more students back on campus, more faculty and classified back on campus in a safe and healthy environment. I'm feeling that we are going to recover, and nicely, if you will. I also want to just state that for all of our issues, we are a very functional family, a very functional college. And if you compare us with other multi-campus or other single campus districts, our faculty, our classified, our administrative, and our students are working together, and I think in a much more extraordinary way. So let me just congratulate you all. It's been a long road, and I think we're emerging, and I'm very proud of you, from the work that we're done. There are several things I'd like to talk about tonight. I'm going to call really on Jessica Thomason from the Napa Valley College Foundation to provide a brief update, and then we can work through some of the other items on the president's side. But suffice it to say that from everything we've heard tonight, we're listening, we respond, and I think the board is foursquare for student success. In fact, I know that. Jessica, if you're ready, maybe you give an update, if you will. See that you were muted.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, trustees and board members. I can give you a quick update on the foundation. We are planning an online auction and fundraiser that's going to be May 19th through the 26th. The board is working on putting together various lots and wine experiences and a variety of things. So we'll be putting together a website and start marketing it hopefully early April if possible. So I'll be sure to send that information to everyone. It's a great way to get the word out about the college, the foundation, and we'd really appreciate your participation and forwarding it to your colleagues and your friends. We're also in the scholarship review process. We have about 6 board members that are reviewing applications right now. This is always a really enjoyable process for members of our board to hear student stories directly. And so we are also looking at doing an online ceremony in May. Last year we didn't do a ceremony because COVID had just hit and it was last minute. It was quite unexpected. And so we had a lot of our donors, asking and wanting to see something happen again this year. So we're looking at an online ceremony and then hopefully a small reception in person later on in the summer, being that we are able to do that. A quick update on the Wine Education Center. Dr. Kraft and our consultant and I put together a more detailed proposal for the construction of phase 1, the 6,100 square foot new classroom space. And so we're waiting to hear back on that. In the meantime, the planning committee is still working on the strategy for leveraging those wine spectator funds and donors that we will be approaching, such as the vintners, among others. We are also continuing to revise our case for support, which we hope to have as soon as we find out about these other donors. In addition, one big project that our consultant is going to be guiding us through is a strategic planning process. We want to do this over the course of approximately 3 months, and it'll culminate in a retreat and also a new mission and vision statement, revised goals and objectives and tactics for a plan in the next 3 to 5 years for the foundation. As part of the planning process, we will be sending out surveys to Board of Trustee members, to donors, to college leadership and staff. So that'll be something to look for, which will be coming in most likely the next month. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Kyle Iverson is the trustee, representative for the foundation, and he's doing a great job in liaisoning, between you Board of Trustees and the Board of Directors that Jessica represents, have so much in common. And I'm thrilled, really, with Jessica as Executive Director. She's doing a remarkable job. Congratulations on that. And we are very close to securing another major gift that will help support our Wine Education Center. So very excited about that. Thank you, Jessica. A couple things I want to move along. I'm taking this a little bit out of order, and I want to end up with accreditation on the downside of this. So I would call on the campus student housing update. Bob, I think that's yours, if you can do that.
Yes, certainly. And so just a quick update. There are a couple of significant items that have decisions, I should say, that have taken place since the last time we met. The first is that the housing group, so Citibank, the selected investment banking firm that will be using the Scion Group, our consultants, and the college, have all agreed that our follow-up market study will be conducted by a firm, MGT Consulting. And they're very highly recommended. They have experience in market studies throughout the country and with a number of community colleges as well. This is the second market study. Scion conducted the initial market study that we used to determine that there was sufficient demand for housing here on campus. And prior to getting to financial close and having investors interested in investing in those tax-exempt bonds that the 501c3 will issue, that requires a follow-up market study to confirm those findings. And so that firm has been selected. We have our kickoff meeting on Monday to kick off that market study, and it will be very similar to the study in terms of the steps involved, very similar to the study that Scion conducted for us. Now, Scion couldn't do the follow-up because they're now our advisors, and so that would be a conflict of interest, and so that's why we're going with this other highly recommended firm. And so they will be reviewing current market conditions here in Napa. They'll be conducting surveys and focus groups, and their plan is to complete this work by the end of May, so before the semester ends, while faculty and students are still on campus. The other significant development in student housing, and it's an agenda item for you a little later in this agenda, we're requesting approval to enter into a contract with a legal firm from the Washington, D.C. area, Kutak Rock. They have significant experience in the public-private partnership, or P3 arena, and Scion brought them to us as a recommendation to assist us with developing the closing documents that we'll need to execute and move forward with construction of the campus housing, most significantly the ground lease between the college and the 501c3 that serves the basis of our agreement and our interaction with campus housing. And then also the coordination agreement, which is another closing document that identifies which of the parties is responsible for which piece of closing out and finishing that project. And so that contract, if you approve us entering into that contract, we'll start immediately working with them. And the cost of that project would be reimbursed to the college at financial close. So it's one of the costs of our upfront costs for student housing that we would then be reimbursed for at financial close. So that's the update on student housing. Dr. Kraft, shall I move into the technology update?
If you can wait a minute, I think I want to come back to that, Bob.
Okay, that's fine.
I do want to thank Bob. He's done a remarkable job. We're very lucky to have a skilled person like Bob at the helm on this. So it's a great help to me, and we are really working together in a great way. So thank you, Bob, on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to ensure that this is student housing. So I do want to thank our students for kind of jumping in. Will and Usby, you're in a leadership position this year for ASNVC and a student trustee to kind of lead the charge for what I still believe, and the board knows, is a cutting edge project that is not unique anymore, but certainly in the vanguard. And I'm excited about our campus housing. So I think it's going to really make a huge difference from a legacy vantage point for the college and for faculty, staff, and all of us. With that, I want to jump to the student equity initiative and then come back in a little bit to yours, Bob. So if Oscar could introduce this, I think that's the way to go here, please.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Crab. Yes, today we have Robin, Dean, Senior Dean Robin D'Arcangelo, who update. Robin, please. Robin up there? Was she muted?
I don't see her yet.
She is an attendee. I can see her there.
Let me see if there's something I can do.
I've just moved her in.
Okay, good. Thank you, Catherine.
Hey, Robin?
Well, if that will
There we
work.
go. Sorry about that.
Hi, Robin. Hi. Welcome.
Hi.
Oscar has been doing a short tap dance while we were waiting for you, so we're good. So your update on student equity, if you will. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kraft. Good evening, President Baker, Vice President Dodd, members of the board, and Dr. Kraft.
This evening, I will be providing an update on some of the equity and inclusivity efforts, as well as support and activities that have been taking place in recent months. Last summer, Dr. Kraft supported the opportunity for NVC to participate in the USC Race and Equity Monthly E-Convening Series with the California Community College Racial Equity Leadership Alliance training. Each month, we send 5 staff, which include faculty, classified staff, and administrators to attend. 1 or 2 of those are invited to report out at the Equity and Inclusivity meeting to provide information and share their takeaways. Additionally, the USC Equity Leadership Alliance has launched an updated online repository of resources and tools that Alliance members have access to, as well as all of NVC staff. NVC has been working with Dr. Darla Cooper from the RP group since last summer, helping us develop a series of equity trainings for our staff. The RP group helps California community colleges with research, planning, and professional development to strengthen and support student success. Charo Albaran, Christina Rivera, and I have collaborated with her to develop opportunities for classified and confidential administrator staff training. Dr. Cooper has been working with Christina Trujillo to develop opportunities for the faculty as well. Equity has provided and supported the IDI Academic Instructional Design Institute last summer, and again provided $47,000 this spring. Dr. Eileen Tejada has continued to dedicate her time and leadership to increasing faculty learning through the IDI. They have successfully completed 3 sessions of distant education pedagogy courses and trained more than 117 faculty, which have been trained in distant ed and culturally responsive pedagogy. This has been an innovative approach to pedagogy and supports student success. Thank you, Dr. Tejada. We've continued to contract with SEAL. SEAL is the Community College Equity Assessment Lab located at San Diego State University. They support community colleges with research, assessment, and training activities that support the success of historically underserved students, to work directly with our student focus groups and provide survey responses to identify equity gaps. Previous survey groups included our African American students, and most recently, white disproportionately impacted groups, Latinx, Asian American, Filipino American, and LGBT. The goal is to create and develop a strategic action plan that can be implemented to support students and remove existing gaps. The survey results are located on the Equity website. Equity has also supported the library with the purchase of print textbooks to loan across the curriculum for students in spring 2021. We've also supported ebooks for students and online resources, a licensing database, and LGBT database. Additional support for books has been extended to our veterans, foster youth, and it has included bus passes as needed. We continue to support our Umoja students whenever the needs arise. I work closely with Jeanette McClendon with the Umoja program and Tia Madison. We have also provided all new incoming students for both fall and spring a $100 book voucher to help with the cost of books and supplies. Equity has recently provided $5,000 to support Team Invictus, which is a group of 15 engineering students competing in the NASA Spacesuit User Interface Technologies for Student Challenges. The project allows underrepresented groups to participate in current research not found in many two-year institutions, which aligns with the Student Equity Plan goals of increasing 4-year transfer rates. This will ultimately increase successful enrollment in STEM programs as well. Recently, Equity has created a mental health canvas shell promoting support for all students. Over 4,145 students have added this canvas shell to their online classroom. Several faculty have added the canvas shell too. The canvas shell provides easy access to our therapists and mental health counseling services. And lastly, we have created a 12-month calendar that will be placed on the Equity website. It's actually there right now. The calendar identifies monthly cultural events, celebrations, religious holidays, and our own NVC celebrations. This is an effort to provide support and bring about awareness to the campus community. Equity also supports several other professional development initiatives and endeavors. But with that, that is the final report that I'm sharing with all of you tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robin and Oscar. If there are any comments, you can certainly weigh in anytime on this board. Let's move on to the next update, which I'm having trouble seeing because my glasses are just not working. There we are. Technology update. I'm so sorry. Bob, if you can jump into technology update, that was good. Thank you.
I will certainly jump in. And just a very quick update. We've said that we would keep you updated on our response to the two issues, challenges that we have been facing recently, the issues that students, faculty and some staff are experiencing with single sign-on, and then our efforts to stabilize our environment for email for faculty and staff. And so first, our move from our on-premise email server to an Office 365 environment is moving forward very quickly. I participated in an update call with our outside consultants earlier today. And the plan is to have our pilot group migrate next week. And so those folks in that pilot group, and it's a group of about 40 staff members, will move to Office 365, will experience the use of Office 365, but more importantly, will give us information on how successful that move is. The plan is to migrate all user accounts by March 26th, and they recognize that that's an aggressive schedule, but they are committed to moving forward with that migration. And so that would mean that by the end of March, we would have all of our students are already on Office 365, and it would mean that we would move our faculty and staff over to Office 365, which means that we would no longer be relying on a local email server, but rather email would be in the cloud and supported by those cloud resources. And so a much more stable environment. So we're very excited about that move and how quickly it's happening. Single sign-on, we're moving forward with the move of single sign-on. Again, that server to being in the cloud, and rather than being on premise as it is today. And there's a follow-up meeting tomorrow, status update on the movement of that project, but that's another project that we were looking to have completed by the end of March. And for that particular project, we would need to take our system down, the single sign-on system down, for a brief period of time. And so we were initially targeting spring break as the best time to do that. And we're still looking at that timetable and still moving forward with that project. So again, happy to report that significant progress is being made on those two issues, and that we expect to have those solutions in place. And I expect to be able to report to you when we give this update again in April that both of those projects have been completed. So that is our technology update for tonight.
Thank you, Bob. Two more. We're getting there. Just to set everybody, it's only 6:38. Generally speaking, a year ago we used to, go to 11 o'clock or something. So we're doing really well here. Just words of encouragement. Let's jump really fast to public affairs, and then we'll end up with a very important accreditation report too. Holly, how are you out there?
I am very well, thank you very much. I'm going to ask Catherine to help me with my little brief presentation, but good evening, trustees, and thank you for the opportunity to provide you with a brief update since I took the new role of Director of Public Affairs and Communications just 3 short weeks ago. It has been a very eventful 3 weeks. I have met more people on campus via Zoom than ever before. We've been you can go to the next one, it's fine. We've been very busy with lots of coverage in the news, positive news stories. We had a story about our in-person classes, our campus student housing project, an NVC student success story from dropout to instructor, and a story that Rob and D'Arcangelo referenced earlier about the group of students participating in the NASA challenge to design next generation spacesuits. Next slide. Social media continues to be our primary vehicle for communicating with students, both current and prospective. And I am fortunate to have Ali Shull, a digital communications and social media superstar, on my team. And I want to share a little bit of the work that she has been doing. Currently, we're focusing our efforts on summer enrollment, and you can see a couple of examples here. You can go to the next slide. We're redefining how we talk to students. It's all about building relationships. Here you can see that we're using student quotes to tell the stories, and we're talking to different kinds of students. So one quote here, because I took 2 classes over summer, I'm ahead of schedule to transfer to from NVC in 2 years. Another, I took a break from college, but at NVC I was able to find classes that fit my schedule, and I'm on my way to getting my AA degree. So this is a great way to tell stories about our students. Next one, please. So we follow our high schools and we link each other regularly, and those reciprocal links are really key in how we get traction. Here you can see that Napa High is congratulating Nadia from getting into Napa Valley College, and we have posted our own welcome and congratulations to her. Next slide. We also work closely with the Chancellor's Office and customize the assets that they create because they have a big agency to work with, and they also have the opportunity to vet with students these campaigns, so we know that they can be successful, and so we have been using them just recently. We're also launching this weekend a survey on media preferences so that we can learn more about the best ways to reach our students. Interact Communications, which is a national agency that works with 2-year colleges, they usually charge a fee to participate in the annual survey that they do, but because they understand that we are all working with limited budgets and declining enrollment, they have offered this opportunity for California community colleges to participate for free. So we'll be serving our students over the next few weeks and offering some Amazon gift cards to encourage participation. And hopefully that will really help us understand the best ways to communicate with our students about different kinds of information. Next slide, please. Every Friday, we send something called the Friday Extra. It's news that students need to know to current students. You can see that on the left-hand side. We also regularly send single subject emails, such as this one on the food basket drive-through. And we've had great success with these. We had 50 new students accessing the food bank on the first 10 days of the month, and 30 of them were just from yesterday's email, we understand. I'm going to share a couple of very short videos. I promise you, they're like 15 seconds, and they have music, so be prepared for, hopefully this will all work, to give you an idea of the different kinds of campaigns that we're running on social media. Next one. Next. I'm sorry if these are cut off.
Napa Valley College turned my life around
by showing me new opportunities for success.
I received a top quality college education without going into debt.
Napa Valley College is affordable and flexible. I completed all of my undergraduate class requirements,
while gaining inspiration, passion, and a desire for learning, and fulfilled my dream of attending UC Berkeley.
The decision to attend Napa Valley College led to a better future.
It's where knowledge is shared and success is earned.
and where today's inspiration leads to tomorrow's achievements.
Next one. You get the next page. Just about done. Last one. Thank you. I think that was the last video. Can you go to the next page? Oh, one more. So again, I want to thank and acknowledge Ali Shala, my team, for putting together all of these assets. She really does a tremendous job, and we are fortunate to have her. Finally, I just wanted to give you a very brief update on the website. We are moving forward with phase 2. I know you haven't gotten an update in a while, but things have been moving quite quickly over the last 3 weeks. And so phase 2 is in process. The decision that we have made is we are not going to launch phase 1. We are going to wait and launch the website at one time, as I think most of you will agree that you have one chance to make a first impression. And so we felt that it was better, rather than clicking on links and having them take you to the old website, to do it once and do it right. We are moving to a new platform. SharePoint is a wonderful platform for our intranet and for sharing documents. It's not the best platform for a forward-facing public website. So we're moving to something called Omni CMS, which is a platform that is used by over 50 community colleges in California. They do higher ed and higher ed only, so they know it really, really well. And they will be more than a developer, they will be our partner. They really understand issues around accessibility and compliance with legal mandates. They integrate with programs that we're using, like CourseLeaf and Colleague. They have a robust calendar, staff and faculty directory, integrated calendar, quality checks and accessibility validation. So I'm really excited to work with them. They'll be a great partner. So as we enter into this next phase, we're doing a content audit, reviewing all the content that still needs to be updated before we migrate, and meeting with the various constituencies across campus to make sure that they are part of this process. And we will have a new website before the end of this calendar year, and I think it will be something that everyone will be very proud of. We will be bringing the contract, I think, to the board at the April meeting for the phase 2 contract to move forward, and more to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Ollie. You heard it here, right? Very excited about that. You can feel you have such credibility with that news center behind you. I don't even know what to do with that, but it's a great logo. A couple things. I think if we're reminding students that, it's a decision point right now. It's not about circumstances. So, focusing on student success and having students, and all those videos really demonstrated that to me, Holly. I think your team is doing a great job, which is, it is about personal responsibility, making a decision to ensure your success as a student in your future. So thank you very much. We're looking forward to April and that launch. Okay, let me introduce long-awaited Dr. McGowan.
Can I just ask a question real quick?
Absolutely,
On the
please.
social media posts, I've seen them. They're fabulous, and I love seeing students, and especially students that my kids grew up with, in the videos. Do we produce anything in Spanish?
You know, that's something that we have been talking about, that we really need to start doing that. We do have some social media graphics in Spanish. We haven't done any videos yet to date, but that is in progress.
Okay, great. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I think that's a great point. And certainly Oscar has led the charge in that area and in helping us. So we will do that. Dr. Jim McGowan, who I was delighted to appoint in terms of the co-chair of the accreditation team this year, and Dr. Robin Warnall are with us to continue your update on accreditation and let you know what's going on. So Jim and Robin, take it away, please.
Thank you, Dr. Kraft. Robin, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. Very short update for you. Thank you, Dr. Kraft. Thank you, esteemed trustees, and thank you, my administrative, classified, and faculty colleagues, for this opportunity to speak to you tonight. Robin and I have been a partnership accreditation steering committee co-chairs. We've been working since October, but the bulk of what we've been doing has happened this semester. So Robin and I are going to show you on the next slide a summary of what we've been up to and what is to come. So we have held 2 trainings in January, with a third one scheduled for tomorrow. Our first training, January 22nd, was on identifying, gathering, and using evidence to respond to the standards. That training was attended by 44 people, with another 9 requesting a recording of the Zoom. And then our second training on January 29th was on writing in response to the standards. And that training was attended by 47 people, with another 10 requesting a recording of the Zoom. And tomorrow's training is a more advanced writing training, which is appropriate considering our first draft is due in a couple of days. And that training will be held with Dr. Catherine Webb, who is one of the vice presidents from the ACCJC. So she has, we are delighted to be able to bring her to NVC, or at least to Zoom on NVC, to speak directly to all of us involved in the accreditation process. So everyone here is encouraged to attend tomorrow. That training will be at 11:30, and do bring your friends and family if you can. We have 14 writing teams of various composition, representing various constituent groups, actively engaged in writing the first draft responses to the 120 different accreditation standards. They have been working on their own, and they have also been working with Robin and I. We have been working with them via email and occasionally in Zoom meetings to draft the standards and get as close as we can to a workable first draft, like I said, due in a couple of days.
So I'm going to take it from there. So good evening, board. March 19th is an important day for us, as Jim has alluded to a couple times. Our first drafts are due a week from tomorrow from our writing teams. That will also be the day that we convene the accreditation steering committee. And that includes 11 members, and it's comprised of Jim and me as the co-chairs. Our constituent group presidents, so that's Eileen, Usby, Marty, and Bob Harris, Ron, Sarah, Oscar, and Bob Parker, and then finally Trustee De Luna will be the governing board representative or participant on the accreditation steering committee. We anticipate arranging 2 additional trainings by the ACCJC. One will be for the Board of Trustees, and one will be for our writing team members. Those are likely to be in early 2022 after we submit our ICER, that's the
institutional self-evaluation report. So after we submit it, and as we're waiting to hear back from our peer review team, that those trainings will likely cover what to expect from a focused site visit. So that will be also the one for the writing teams will be offered by Dr. Catherine Webb, and either Dr. Webb or Dr. Droker will be providing the training for the Board of Trustees. Also, this is kind of new, hot off the press information. I haven't even had a chance to share it with Jim yet, so you guys are all the first to hear it. Dr. Croft received word from the ACCJC today, letting us know that our focused site visit will occur the week of October 10th, 2022. So mark your calendars, I guess. More to come on that.
Duly
so
noted.
That's our update.
Thank you very much. I want to thank you both. You're both doing a tremendous job. And I want to thank the writing team members. Fully appreciate and understand that the faculty are focused, need to focus on student needs, and that a few folks had to step away. And we appreciate your work to this point, and very much appreciate your work. And no harm, no foul. You need to focus on student success, and fully understand that from the board perspective, you have great leadership in Jen and Robin. And we expect we're going to have a wonderful report for you to take a look at. I would open it up for any trustee comment or anything else on the president's report before we close this out.
Dr. Kraft, I am actually here. If you would like, I could give my report now.
Usby, hi, how are you? That would be Jennifer calling on you. That's great. Oh,
yeah, sorry, I had to find my mute button. Yes, please, Ms. Jimenez.
Hi, hello. I'm a bit late. I'm really the only one at home right now, and I'm watching my grandfather. So this has to be a bit quick. So recently, ASMBC has worked with Umoja to have 2 events for the African American celebration. We did a Kahoot game, which we did with Umoja, and ASMBC did an art contest. So we got quite a bit of participation from the students, and it was a success. We gave out prize money. It was gift cards. $100 for first place, $50 for second, $25 for third. So pretty much the entire month of February, we've been kind of busy with the African American celebration. And now we are focusing on our bylaws. So we're planning committees, and we're meeting up, and we're discussing any changes that we need to make. And that's kind of it.
Thank you very much. I'll kick it back to Dr. Kraft.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you all for having me.
Thank you.
Good. You represent, thousands of folks, and so it's great. It's great to hear from you. Again, trustees, I think I saw Michael with his hand raised. I just want to make sure.
Madam Chair and Dr. Kraft, and I'd like to share the screen too, please, if I could. But I am the vice chair that was referred to earlier back in the December 2020 meeting. Dr. Tejada, if you're, I see you're still tuned in. There you are, thank you. I just wanted to apologize to you, and I am terribly sorry for any semblance of disrespect that you may have taken away from my mispronunciation of your name. I was a little apprehensive, as I am presently, and disheartened that it came across as it did. I've always appreciated the work you've done through the nearly 20 years I've been a trustee for the students, for the faculty, for this college, that for many years, since I was 18, walking onto the campus, this evening's report, I've always respected you. And again, I ask that you forgive me for any disrespect or hurt I may have caused you or the college. Let there be no doubt of my support, both financially and through the discharge of my duties as a trustee, for the support of the college to provide the students the necessary education and tools for the future. And with that, the faculty and the classified and administration is having a top program is paramount to accomplishing that. And again, I will continue to do the work and whatever it takes. I think I've stood on my head in the past, and I'll continue to do that in the future. So with that, can I go to share screen? Is that possible? Yes.
Trustee Baldini?
Yes.
I just want you to know that I really appreciate the apology, and it is all good. I just want you to know I really appreciate it, and know that I am committed to work collaboratively and to continue the work that we do. So, but I really appreciate what you did here tonight. It means a whole lot, and it does a lot to heal the hurt. So thank you. I really appreciate your courage and the acknowledgement. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Dr. Tejada. And what I also want to do is introduce, about a month early into this world, my grandchild being held by my son-in-law, but not only that, my son of heart and my son of soul and his son of spirit, Brandon. And that's Donatella Serena. And that's where I've been mentally in the last week, as she came a little bit early to this world. You're looking at a future Napa Valley College student right there. And I'll see to it that she gets the best education possible, and that's why it's Napa Valley College. So,
congratulations, Michael.
Yes, very much. And I can tell that's a preemie because the father looks rested. The nice thing about a preemie is you get to go home and sleep.
It was just released out of UCSF last night after over a week, so we're quite happy. And thank you all, and thanks for your indulgence, and thank you for all those that day in and day out support this college. Thank you.
And thank you to Trustee Baldini and also to Dr. Tejada. We, all of us, sometimes have to be brave and uncomfortable right now. And so thank you to both of you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That is my report.
And did we have anything from Cabinet?
They took their turn, and we
Did they? Did I fall asleep?
No, we just did it seamlessly. And
okay, thank you. Alrighty then, moving on to consent calendar. We have, okay, so 8.1. Do we have any items that need to be pulled for discussion?
I'm so sorry, Madam Chair. I did not do it seamlessly and wonderfully. I can see that Oscar Tejada is wanting to make a statement, and I am so sorry.
Let's back up for Oscar. Absolutely.
I apologize.
No worries.
Thank you, Craft. Actually, what I have is a request more than anything else, and it's a request of the Board of Trustees that I shared in brief with Trustee Baker. And basically what I'm asking for is that for the board to assign a board member to an award that was established last year. However, last year it was a right of the donor to name the first recipient. But we are now starting with a selection process for what's called Excellence in Student Service Award, and it's an award it's an endowment of $25,000, which carries with it an award of $500 every year for the recipient. It was initiated and started by Peggy and Jerry Schlosser, who happen to be the parents of Sudie Shank, the wife of Dr. Shank. For those of you who may not be very much aware of who Dr. Shank is, Dr. Shank served Napa College for over 39 years as administrator, and he retired about 5 years ago or so. And so he's always been seen as a true champion of students, champion of student rights, and this award is an honor in his name. Now, let me just read you very briefly what the overview is of this award. It says the annual award recognizes and rewards excellence in service to students. The award honors student affairs staff members who have made an outstanding contribution to the success of Napa Valley students through the activities that promote student learning, student retention, and student growth. And so what I'm asking for is that the idea here is to create this award similar to what we have for the McPherson Award for faculty, and it will name every year. It will select a student affairs staff member with a classification of associate dean and below. So what I'm asking is if it's possible to make this one of your committees that you have, that every year or every so often you assign members to serve on the selection of this award from here until 80 years from now. Currently, the committee will be composed of it'll be myself, the vice president, I should say, a member of the NVC Foundation, a member of student government, a member of our Student Services Council, and of course, if it's all feasible, if it's possible, a member of the Board of Trustees. So with that, I'd like to simply make that request with due respect, and hopefully it will be reciprocated with a positive yes.
Dr. Kraft, is that something that we can do tonight, or would it need to be agendized?
No, you could do it when you get to your
committees
agenda and simply appoint somebody.
Okay.
Yo siento, Oscar. I'm sorry that I didn't.
I was doing a tap dance.
That's what I was about to say. I actually thought you were doing Irish dance, because it was hard to tell since we could only see you from here up. So
I am assured that Sarah and Charo do not have reports. Although, raise your hand right now if you would like that. Okay, I see no hand. I'm good. So thank you, Madam Chair. We are now done with President's report.
Perfect. Okay, now moving on to 8.1, approval of consent calendar. Do we have any items to be pulled for discussion?
Move approval.
Do we have any public comment?
No, I see none.
Okay. Can I get a second then? I had heard a first from Mr. Baldini.
Second. Trustee Shull.
I heard Shull first, so I'm going to give it to him. So then, let's see. Then moving to, we have no discussion, so let's see. Trustee DeLuna, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Dodd.
Aye.
Trustee Goff.
Aye.
Trustee Iverson is not with us. Trustee Rios.
Aye.
Trustee Baldini.
Aye.
Student Trustee Shull.
Aye.
And then I myself vote aye, so we have passed consent unanimously. So now moving on to academic affairs. Our first item, or actually our only item, is curriculum changes for spring of 2021. Do we have any presentation or anything? I don't think so.
I'm just looking for a motion.
Okay. So can I get a motion then to approve?
Move to approve the curriculum changes for spring 2021.
Second, Trustee Dodd.
And I don't think we had any public comment on that either. Is that correct?
Seeing none.
Okay. So we had a motion from Trustee Rios with a second from Trustee Dodd. Trustee DeLuna, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Dodd, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Goff, your vote?
Aye.
Trustee Iverson is not with us. Trustee Rios, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Baldini, how do you vote?
Aye.
Student Trustee Shaw, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Trustee Baker, I will vote aye. So we pass 9.1 unanimously. So moving on then to 10.1, we have an information item on update on potential lease of certain real property located on the Upper Valley campus to the city of St. Helena for municipal purposes. And I think Mr. Parker has a brief update for us.
Yes, just a very brief update because it's been a few months since we've talked about where we are in open session for this. You, the Board of Trustees, passed the resolution that allowed us to move forward. Back at the January meeting, we published for 3 consecutive weeks an announcement of that resolution. And then that allows us to come back with a lease agreement at some point in the future. We did not come back with that lease agreement in February, nor are we bringing one here in March. So just wanted to let everyone know that we are still working with the city of St. Helena on a potential lease of a portion of our property at the Upper Valley campus, that the city of St. Helena has done some due diligence work. They've brought in a couple of architects to look at the property to determine what tenant improvements would be required in order for them to utilize the space in the way that they intend to use it. They've brought in some other consultants to look at any potential ADA requirements or adjustments that might need to be made. All of those reports are expected back within the next week or so. And we've been in communication with the city of St. Helena representatives throughout this process. And we do expect at this point, both we and the city of St. Helena expect that we would be bringing to the April board meeting a lease agreement to execute with the city for use of a portion of the property. So just wanted to let everyone know, anyone who's listening tonight, to know that that the plans are moving forward. They got delayed a little bit, but we are still on track to move forward and bring something back to the board at the April board meeting.
Thank you, and don't go anywhere because item 10.2 is contract with, is it Kutak Rock?
QTAC.
Okay, and you mentioned this in your update about housing, I believe, but if there's anything you want to tell us before we proceed?
No, just as a reminder, this is, as I said earlier, this is using an outside legal firm to assist us with these closing documents, in particular the ground lease and the coordination agreement. That there is a limit. We don't expect it to be $35,000. That's the upper limit. So it's a not to exceed dollar amount. But just as a reminder, as we said earlier, this would be reimbursed to us at financial close for campus housing, as other expenses like our Scion contract will be reimbursed at financial close.
Do we have any public comment on this item?
No, I see no public comment.
All right then. Do we have a motion for approval?
Move approval, Trustee Baldini.
And a second?
Second.
And that was that Trustee DeLuna?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we have a first from Trustee Baldini, a second from DeLuna. If we don't have any discussion, I'm going to go ahead and call the vote. So Trustee DeLuna, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Dodd, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Goff, your vote?
Aye.
And Trustee Iverson is not with us. Trustee Rios, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Baldini?
Aye.
And Student Trustee Scholl?
Aye.
And then I as well will say aye. So that has been approved unanimously. So now we have 10.3, which is California Community College Chancellor's Office Quarterly Financial Status Report. We met in the Audit and Finance Committee, and I'm going to ask our new chair, Rafael Rios, to please introduce this really quickly.
Well, what else can
Or
I?
you could call on Bob.
That's exactly what I was going to do. Bob can explain it very succinctly.
Well, thank you. And so this is a report. It's due on a quarterly basis. This is for the quarter ended December 31st. This is a report specifically of the activity in our general fund unrestricted accounts. It's a very high level report. We did discuss this, review this at the Audit and Finance Committee meeting that took place on Monday of this week. And just to highlight that what we look at here, it shows us comparing where we are year to date, and that was as of December 31st, with our overall budget. If you look at our general fund unrestricted overall revenues at December 31st of 2020, we had collected 51.6%, which is where we would expect to be. If you compare that to where we were at December 31st of 2019, we were at 51.2%. So a little better this year, but pretty much average. In terms of general fund expenditures, this year, December 31st of 2020, we were at 49.2%, so revenues exceeding expenditures. If you look at December 31st of 2019, we were at 49.9%. So our expenses were higher as a percentage of budget last year, and our revenues were lower as a percentage of budget last year. So it's a slight, very slight, but a slight improvement this year over where we were at this time last year.
And Bob, could you just, as you did for everybody on the committee, just on line A2 for the 1920 year, you know, we have it's listed as $200,000 as other financing sources, which is, I think, approximately like a $1.4 million delta from 1819 and also the projected 2021 and what's that from?
And so for 1920, and we are still closing out 1920, and that report will be coming back to you at the April board meeting, the April Audit and Finance Committee meeting, and the April board meeting. There, you will see that number will be adjusted. What that number reflects is revenue that comes in for other post-employment benefits that we provide to our employees. And we just haven't, we are in the process right now of 1920 confirming all of those revenue numbers and recognizing those revenue numbers. And what you see there for 1920 on this report just reflects the fact that that revenue recognition had not taken place yet. We will be doing that as part of the final audit of 1920, and those numbers will be more in line with what you see for 1819. And our final numbers for 2021 will be in line with those numbers as well.
Thank you.
Yes, Trustee Rios also asked that question when we met earlier. So we have a recommendation from the committee to accept this report. So can I don't think we have any public comment on this. If we don't, we can move on to get a motion.
We do not.
Alrighty then. Can I get a motion to accept?
I will move to accept the quarterly financial status report.
And do we have a second?
Second, Trustee Dodd.
Okay, we have a first from Trustee Rios and a second from Trustee Dodd. So, Trustee DeLuna, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Dodd?
Aye.
Trustee Goff?
Aye.
Trustee Iverson is not with us. Trustee Rios?
Aye.
Trustee Baldini?
Aye.
Student Trustee Shaw?
Aye.
And then I also will vote yes. So we have accepted that unanimously. And moving on to 11, we do not have any items for human resources. And number 12, we have a contract with Development Cubed Software. And I believe Mr. DeHaro was wanting to do a brief introduction on this one.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes. What you have here is you have a contract with a company named Development Cube Software Inc., which otherwise known as Marching Order. And we have contracted. We want to contract with this company to assist us with organizing our spring 2021 commencement. You may recall that last year's event was okay. I mean, we were caught up with time limitations as well as not knowing exactly what to do or how to do it. But we did do something for our students, which they appreciated. This time, since we knew a bit ahead of time that perhaps things were not going to be done in person, we made certain that we started to work with finding a company that could assist us with this commencement process. And as we decided what to do, we also wanted to make certain that we included the voices of our staff, of our college police, of facilities folks, to ensure to at least make clear that it was going to be virtually impossible to have something in person. So this is what the contract is about. But I also want to take this time to introduce to you Marta Navarro, who is my executive assistant, and she's going to share the show presentation so that you as a board have an idea, have an understanding how this is going to work. It's going to be a hybrid ceremony, and it promises to be very upbeat and very exciting. It's a company that's also being used by many of our community colleges. And so once again, Martha, please.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to present to you our plans for commencement. As Oscar mentioned, our committee met to discuss our options, and this is one of the best alternatives that we think is going to provide the feel of celebration that our students are looking for. And so Catherine is going to help me show you the slide. So can you move to the next one, Catherine, please? Thank you. So the idea is to hold this hybrid commencement ceremony, which would include a virtual ceremony along with a drive-through event which would allow the students to walk the stage and receive their diploma covered. And the virtual part would include actually working with marching orders and basically doing pre-recorded videos of all the speakers. So the plan is to go ahead and have the same full program as we have it for an in-person ceremony. And, you know, we're allowed to have about 5 videos. And so these are some, this is the draft of what we developed of what we potentially envision that our virtual ceremony would look like. We would have a welcome video, a storyboard is showcasing the college, very short. Then we would go into a congratulatory piece, which would, you know, the national anthem singer, the speakers in the order that we have our program with Dr. Kraft talking, the academic senate president, and then also the board of trustees president. And that's would be part of the video number 2. Then we would also then have as another video, the valedictory speakers once they're selected, and the presentation of graduates, including the conferring of the degrees, you know, where Dr. Kraft says you can move the tassel. The 4th video would include the actual roll call of the students, which is each student will be invited to provide a picture, a photo, with a message, and their degree will be on the slide, and that would be a roll call similar to what we do in in-person ceremony where graduates are walking through the stage. The last piece would be a salutation, the same speech that Oscar typically does at the end of the ceremony. And then since we can't do the farewell, which was the corridor at the end, we're hoping that, we are going to be inviting faculty, staff, and administrators to submit a video the same way we did last year. So just congratulating students or waving or holding up a sign, and then it will be incorporated into one single video that we can show during that. Also, because we won't be able to have an ASNVC reception, two members from the ASNVC board were part of our committee meetings. And, we discussed, the possibility of, what does ASNVC want to do? Do something, some contest or ideas. Maybe they can create just a simple message of it, and so that we can incorporate it into one of these videos. That is still to be determined, but, we have made them aware of what the plans are. So, it's just making sure that they decide what they want to do. The next slide. These are a couple of just backdrops or examples of what potentially the videos that we're looking at recording would look like. We could have different options. One is of the valedictory speaker. Again, these would have to be pre-recorded. The hope is that we will select the 1 or 2 dates where we can have this be done on campus. Then the slider right on the right-hand side on the bottom is actually sort of an example of what the graduate slide would look, the name, the degree that they're earning, and then the message that we invited them to upload to a website that Marching Orders is creating for us that is very user-friendly and easy to upload. They can also include the pronunciation of their name to make sure that, the name reader pronounces it correctly. This slide has a couple of links that you can look at your own time. I really want to focus on the next ones. Next slide, Catherine. Yeah. So this is an example of just what we're thinking of for the drive-through event. Again, it would have both the virtual ceremony and the drive-through event would happen on Saturday, May 29, so that parents could come and students. The idea is to allow 1 car per student, similar to what Napa High and other high schools did last year. And the hope is that, we want participation from our faculty members, from staff members to come in and help us create this atmosphere of, congratulations and giving them farewell. So we are going to be asking everybody to wear regalia to make it more like a formal celebration. And I think next slide gives a few more examples. I'm going to show you a very short video of what potentially, we are going to be having a stage. So it's not just a drive-through. The student will be able to get off from their car and walk the stage. Catherine, can you click on the link?
Kendra Rich, Dental Hygiene. Rosio Tovar, polysomnography.
And then, so that's the idea of, of creating that atmosphere of the music and the name readers. Then this is actually what, more of, we'll set up a stage with the diploma covers, graduates. Using the marching order product is going to allow for a touchless system where we don't even have to touch the cards that the students have. It's going to be scanned and everything. But this video kind of shows you. We're also going to be having a photographer that will take pictures of the graduates.
Russo. Andrew Mark Brancato.
Thank you, Catherine.
Grace Elizabeth Soriano.
So, that's the thought of the plans that we have. We think that it's going to create the opportunity for family members to be a part of the celebration and be in their car and be able to take pictures of the graduates and see them walk, which is one of the things that we got from last year's that, they missed. So, I think we're giving them the best alternative for an in-person one, but I think it's going to be a great event. That's all.
Thank you, Martha. Thank you much.
Thank you. I did want to comment. I think Oscar and Martha and commencement team, you did a great job. It is a difficult decision to do this, but I think board, you can really look at this. And I wanted them to present tonight. It's important for you as board members to be able to address your constituents and say, you know, we're not holding commencement in person, but we're really doing a first, you know, top-notch job. So I'm very excited about it. You know, listening to that music, still, even if they're driving up in a car, it gives me goosebumps. That's all there is to it. So I'm very excited about commencement, you know, at this time. And I expect all of you will be there surrounding the cars, rocking the cars, maybe, you know, as they go by. So we'll figure that out. But anyway, congratulations, Oscar, Martha. Great.
Thank you.
Questions from the board, maybe?
Are we going to allow parents to get off to take their own pictures, or do they take them from the car?
No, they're going to be taking them from the car. We're only going to be, but actually we are going to be providing a secondary location where we will be allowing parents and students to take pictures near the library, where there's going to be like a photo backdrop. So an opportunity for parents to get off and take extra pictures.
Good idea.
Yeah. It's a really, I looked up some of their videos online, and they're really good. Everything looks so great. And I'm sure you guys are going to have a lot of work to do, but it will be worth it for the students.
And we had Allie's son graduated from UC Davis, and they used marching orders, and she mentioned it was a very streamlined process, very easy, user-friendly, and it allows also for social media engagement during the actual virtual ceremony. So we're really excited about that piece too.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any other questions? Any public comment?
No, I see no public comment.
Alrighty then. Can we get a motion to approve the contract?
Move approve, Baldini.
And a second?
Second, Ines.
All right, we have a first from Trustee Baldini and a second from Trustee DeLuna. So, Trustee DeLuna, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Dodd, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Goff, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Trustee Iverson is not with us. Trustee Rios, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Baldini, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Student Trustee Scholl, how do you vote?
Aye.
Are you graduating this year?
I am. This is my last semester.
We'll be sure to rock your car. I will. Trustee Baker will also vote aye. So we have approved that unanimously.
Thank you very much.
And I think, let's see, where are we now? We have, okay, so moving on to general information items, 13.1, the CCCT board election. And let's see, Catherine, do you have the slate that you can pull up for us?
Yes, ma'am. Here we go.
Okay. So these are the individuals that are running for election for the CCCT board. And we, as a board, as I understand it, are allowed to vote for as many as 7 of these individuals if we wish to. However, in discussion with Dr. Kraft, his recommendation was to, rather than dilute our vote, because our interest, or Napa Valley's interest, would be in trying to have other like colleges represented on the board. And so, as you can see, we have a nominee from Sonoma County. There are also a couple of other small colleges that I think maybe Dr. Kraft can identify those for us. So we can vote for just one person, or I asked if we could put all 7 votes on one person, and we're not allowed to do that. So, but we can vote for just one person's rather than dilute our vote by spreading it around, or we can vote for a couple. If anybody has any thoughts, opinions on that, we can jump in right now.
hearing no, rush to the roar here, I would say that when you look at a small, like Allen Hancock, it's a fairly small college, reflective of our needs. So my comment was generally the large multi-college districts represent their needs and don't necessarily represent, the northern, more remote colleges. So totally up to you, of course. And I think that SRJC is on here where I don't see
Number 14.
Yeah, Sonoma. Also in our backyard and would certainly know our issues. So whether you wanted to vote for 1, 2, or 7, that's totally you all. But probably, Trustee Baker, the best way to go is ask for a motion and then go from there.
All right. Does anyone want to make a motion for a particular person or group of persons?
I'll move for 8, St. Louis Obispo County, since agriculture, viticulture are very important, as well as 14. And I don't see the top of the list anymore. So.
We talked. Dr. Kraft had mentioned number 6, Ellen
Yes.
Hancock.
Yes, number 6.
Okay, so that's a motion to cast our collective vote for those 3 individuals. Do we have a second for that?
I'll second.
All right, that was Trustee Goff.
Yes.
All right, any discussion? Alrighty then.
I in that I agree with Dr. Kraft as far as really supporting those who reflect similar needs and wants. I think it's really important that we have a voice at the table.
And since we missed the boat on getting our own voice, I already told Trustee Baldini
That's
that
right. That's
you
right.
in for next year. So, all right then. So can we then, Catherine, did you record which ones we were wanting to cast our votes for?
Yes, I did. That's number 8, number 14, and number 6.
Correct.
And I will post that tomorrow.
And so then and we had a motion from Trustee Baldini with a second from Trustee Goff. And let's see, Trustee DeLuna, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Dodd?
Aye.
I tried to squish you guys together.
Very creative.
Trustee Goff?
Aye.
Trustee Iverson is not with us. Trustee Rios? Trustee Baldini?
Aye.
Student Trustee Scholl?
Aye.
And then I too will vote aye, so we can send off our vote for the CCCT board. All right, moving on, number 14, there are no items for board policy review. So number 15.1, standing committee and other appointment reports. Legislative Affairs Committee, Trustee Goff, do you have a report?
I do have a report. We actually met. Now, hang on, I have to get my notes here. Thank you, Holly Dawson, once again, for making me look good. We met on March 2nd, and we had a plethora of bills to look at. Luckily, we had Holly, who narrowed that down and kind of kept us focused on our priorities. If you'll remember, we have 3 legislative priorities: equity for students, equity for academic opportunity, and equity for educational quality. So instead of setting up a meeting to try and figure out what these were about, Holly is tracking bills, and she's going to help us identify those that really fall into those categories. We want to really look at those that address issues around affordability, food and housing access, financial aid, and protecting and expanding dual enrollment pathways and financial aid. So those are kind of the categories that a lot of these bills fall into. It has not been, we haven't gotten any word as far as movement from any of the bills yet. So Holly is kind of keeping her finger on the pulse, and she is going to contact us when would be an appropriate time to reconvene when she has more information, and the legislature has kind of put some focus on certain bills. We do want to get out that Dr. Kraft sent a letter of support last week for SB 40, which establishes the California Medicine Scholars Program. And if you recall, we had a presentation last year by members of the MESA team and Kaiser Permanente. It was during one of our board meetings. And this is the program that sets students on a structured pathway to earn medical degrees and become physicians in California. So it's pretty exciting. So I hope they listen to Dr. Kraft's letter. Again, we don't know when we'll meet again, but I am willing to bet Holly will be on top of that, and she will let us know when we will be ready to review those pieces of legislation that we should focus on. And that is my report.
Well, you're in good hands.
We are in good hands.
All right, then let's see. Audit and Finance Committee, we already had our item that we had moved to the board for action. Chair Rios, do you have anything you want to add?
Yes, there was another item that we had during our committee meeting. That was the review of the request for proposals for audit services that Bob Parker had put together, since our contract with the current auditor is coming to an end, and we cannot rehire that same auditor. So we did review the that proposal that I think, Bob, you can correct me, I think has gone out, that request for proposals.
Issued it yesterday.
Okay, so, and then other than that, we've got a couple of meetings set to work on the audit. And I don't recall those dates. I thought maybe we would have received an invitation by now, but
oh gosh, I'm sorry you didn't. So the first meeting, which is to review the audit report, is Tuesday, April 6th.
Thank you, Bob.
And then I think we have another one 2 weeks after that to look at the responses.
Right.
That's correct. Yeah.
And that was all.
All righty. Has there been a real property committee? I don't believe there has been.
No, there hasn't.
No. And so Trustee Iverson is not here to give us a report for DOS or for the College Foundation. Do we have? Does anybody else know if we have anything that needs to be reported to us on either of those items?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
All right then.
I think we're good.
And then the Viticulture and Winery Technology Foundation, Trustee Baldini.
We were to have a second meeting. It was canceled. So nothing to report.
And McPherson.
So the McPherson Award Committee met, and thank you, Dr. Sarah Parker, for all of her work and her office's work to revise and get together the applications. That the application is now open. Nominations are being accepted through Friday, March 26th at 5 p.m. That committee is meeting on March 16th again to really set up a rubric and go over the selection process. It's a really great committee, and we're really looking forward to getting some completed applications. Thank you.
Fantastic. And would this be the point in time where we would appoint someone to serve on the Excellence in Student Services Award Committee?
It would be, and it would be ad hoc until it works beyond that in the future.
Okay. And I hear it was an 80-year commitment. Is that right? Is that 1 year? Does anybody really want to do it? If not, I can randomly choose one of you.
I would like to do it.
All right. So Trustee DeLuna is going to represent the board on that ad hoc committee until we get an opportunity to make it a little more official. And I'm sure Mr. Nahara will be in touch to let you know what what that includes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. So then future agenda item requests. Pull up our log. Okay, we're coming back to honorary degrees when we can, based on our comments from the academic Senate. Yes. And then let's see, progress on calendar. Okay, we got that's been coming along. Process for board officer elections. Yes, I would like to see if we can get that on our next month, perhaps. And then also wanted to see about getting a report or something, a status report on Mount Veeder and what our plans are for that property in terms of educational options, or just see what's coming down the pipe there. So if we can make a note of that.
Okay, that sounds good. I do have a suggestion. And Sarah got her hiking boots dusty today, but working.
Not muddy?
Yeah, not yet, right?
Where was she hiking?
Back to that agenda request item, Catherine. I'm wondering if you can open it up. We have a very full retreat for you, but it might be reasonable to do that board process for board election when you have a little more packet coming up in summer.
That makes sense, and we're not in a hurry since it is not really necessary till we get to the end of the year. But yeah, that makes perfect sense.
That will give us a little time to get our P's and Q's all in order and get you something that you can really look at as a team.
Okay. Maybe Catherine can put a note in the status section so I don't bug you guys next month.
That's all good.
Does anyone else have any other items that they would like to bring to the board for future? No? Trying to keep us short so we can get out of here. They think maybe the movie theaters are going to open up. Is that what you have in mind? All right then. So let's move on to trustee and board chair reports. So let's see. Trustee DeLuna, do you have a report?
No, I think at one point I got cut off at one of our meetings, and I just wanted to say thank you to staff for meeting with me and providing updates. I look forward to attending more meetings and getting a little bit more fluent with the Napa Valley College process and activities. I also wanted to send an apology to Dr. Tejada for not saying anything at the December 7th meeting. I know what these microaggressions feel like, and it's not okay. And I want to thank Mr. Baldini too, Trustee Baldini, for speaking up and apologizing today. That meant a lot, and it really gives me a lot of hope for the future of our working relationships with staff and everybody. And I'm glad that we can feel comfortable enough to clear things up when there's something like this is felt. So thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Dodd, do you have a report?
Yeah, I participated in the CCLC. Those trustee webinars are coming up, and just a very timely topic about student housing. There was a new CCLC report. I don't know if the trustees received that email, but was a good read and nice. Although there wasn't any sort of specific mentions of Napa Valley College, there should have been. Just giving credit where credit is due, and seeming that we're a little bit ahead of the curve on this, which is rewarding to see.
Thank you. All right, Trustee Goff, do you have a report?
Have a report, except that two things. Number one, I really am enjoying the committees I'm a part of, so I want to thank those who sit on the committees and work with me. And secondly, I have no visual tonight. I can't see anyone's faces, and I really miss all your faces. So I'm really hoping you can sooner or later come back in person to these meetings, because when we talk about the length of meetings, I know some of them can be long, but they're much longer when you're looking in a black hole. So just so you all know, I do miss your And I hope that we are back soon. So that is all. Thank you.
Well, we miss seeing your face too. So we had it earlier.
It was there earlier, and I thought, well, if I turn mine off, maybe it'll come back, and then it didn't. Yeah, it's just not there. So I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Hopefully next month I'll see your faces again. We'll see.
There we go. Oh, when we all meet in person, we'll have to start brushing our teeth again. All right, let's see. So Mr. Iverson is not with us. Trustee Rios, do you have a report?
I do not.
All righty. Trustee Baldini, do you have a report?
Just a comment. One, thank you for all the participation, and number two, the fact that we had no March 15th notices. I give a shout out to Dr. Kraft and his staff and students, faculty, and administration, and keep it going. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Student Trustee Shull, do you have a report?
I just wanted to give notice and thanks to Holly Dawson for due diligence for the legislative committees and tracking on those bills. Other than that, nothing, no report.
Thank you. All right. Well, I don't have much to report on. I I had like 3 screens going at the time, so I sort of attended the State of Higher Education for Black Californians webinar, which was mostly just a review of their report. It was very interesting. And then, of course, just regular committee stuff and things like that. So, it must be almost 8 o'clock because one of my computers just turned on. So I have nothing further. If anybody else has anything, I don't think we need to go back to closed session. So I am going to say our next meeting, future meeting is going to be April 8th. And without further ado, we can adjourn at 7:52 p.m. See you in April.
Thank you.